So, I just got an idea. I've just put it to use. Uh, I just want to say this shit is crazy. So I asked, tell me an overly detailed story on what if Izuku-headed heroes. Part 1. In a parallel universe, Izuku Midoriya had a vastly different upbringing than the one we know from the original My Hero Academia universe. In this world, Izuku grew up in a family of quirkless individuals who believed that heroes were nothing more than glorified bullies who used their powers to lord over those without them. As a result, Izuku was raised to despise heroes and everything they stood for. He was taught that true strength came from within, and that relying on external sources like quirks or heroism was a sign of weakness. Despite this, Izuku still dreamed of becoming a great warrior, but instead of idolizing heroes like All Might, he looked up to historical figures like Minamoto Musashi and Sun Tzu, who had achieved greatness through their own skill and cunning. Izuku's desire to become a warrior led him to seek out alternative forms of training. He spent countless hours studying martial arts, strategy, and tactics, honing his mind and body to a razor-sharp edge. He refused to rely on an external crutch, even going so far as to reject the idea of using gadgets or equipment to augment his abilities. In school, Izuku was alone. He had no interest in making friends or socializing with his classmates, believing that such things were distractions from his true goal. He spent most of his time studying and training, determined to become the greatest warrior the world had ever seen. But despite his dedication, Izuku faced constant ridicule and harassment from his peers. His quirklessness made him an easy target for bullies who saw him as a weak and inferior. Even his teachers saw him as a lost cause, dismissing his dreams of greatness as foolish, unrealistic. Despite all this, Izuku refused to give up. He trained harder than ever before, pushing himself to his limits and beyond. And eventually, his hard work paid off. One day, while on his way home, this shit is crazy. This is AI generated, bro. One day, while on his way home from school, Izuku stumbled upon a group of villains who were attacking an innocent bystander. Without hesitation, he sprang into action, using his martial arts skills to take down the villains with ease. The bystander, grateful for Izuku's help, revealed himself to be a powerful warrior in his own right. He saw potential in Izuku and offered to train him under his wing and train him in the ways of the warrior. Izuku accepted the offer, eager to learn all he could from this new mentor, and so began a new chapter in his life, one where he would reject the heroism he had been taught to despise and embrace a new path as a warrior of unparalleled skill and strength. That was just a 4-minute fucking story. That's crazy. Okay, let's move on to part 2. Under the tutelage of his new mentor, Izuku continued to hone his skills as a warrior. He learned new techniques and strategies and pushed himself to new heights of power and ability. But even as he grew stronger, Izuku's hatred for heroes remained. He saw them as nothing more than weaklings who relied on their quirks to do their jobs, and believed that they were a blight on society. Despite this, Izuku could not deny the fact that heroes were needed in the world. Villains and criminals still threatened the safety of innocent people, and someone had to stand up to them. As he continued his training, Izuku began to formulate a new philosophy. He believed that true heroism did not come from quirks or costumes, but from the strength of one's conviction and the willingness to do what was right, no matter the cost. With this new philosophy in mind, Izuku set out to become a hero of his own kind. He would not wear a costume, nor would he use a quirk. Instead, He would rely on his own strength and skill to fight for justice and protect the innocent. At first, Izuku's approach was met with skepticism and ridicule. Heroes and civilians alike saw him as a weirdo and a freak, and many believed that he was simply trying to ride on their coattails. But as he continued to prove himself in battle after battle, people began to see the truth. Izuku was not a hero in the traditional sense, but he was a hero nonetheless. His strength, skill, and unwavering dedication to justice inspired others to stand up for what was right, and his legend grew each passing day. Despite his newfound fame, Izuku remained true to himself. He continued to reject the heroism of others, instead blazing his own path as a warrior and defender of the innocent. And even as he faced new challenges and enemies, Izuku never wavered. He remained steadfast in his beliefs and continued to fight for a world where strength, skill, and conviction were the true markers of heroism. Bro, this shit just gave me a whole ass idea. I'm using this shit. Watch this. Ah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Alright. I guess I'll end it here for today. Man, this was AI generated. And if any other YouTuber does this, they stole it from me. It's crazy.